Hello, Pathfinders. I wanted to discuss a topic that we haven't reviewed before and might seem strange to some. It might make sense to others. But this is about experiencing complete silence. This is like when the lights go out completely. And so, what do? You're in darkness, and what do? Yes, you look for a flashlight. So you're fumbling around and you find your flashlight and you turn it on and you're okay. You can manage your environment and you're doing fine. So that is the same thing with deafness, complete silence. You use the tools that you need to manage that experience. I have a whiteboard here in my room, so if somebody runs in and needs to say something, they can grab the whiteboard and write down what they're trying to say to me. Or I put on my processor because I have them right on my bed. I take them off at night and I put them next to me on my bed, which is a strange place, but I do. So they're available to me if someone runs in to tell me something or there's an emergency of some kind. Many of you know I do use a wheelchair, so at night I just lie down and, to rest. So that's why I have my processors pretty close to me so that, someone comes in, I grab them. So, complete deafness is okay. It is healthy for the brain. So that's one way to look at it. It's really important not to use your processors 24 hours. You have to give your brain some rest. Because hearing for you is a little different now. You have a apparatus that's going to transmit sound to the brain, and the brain's going to get tired. So it's good to have a break, during the day at some point if you're able to. But especially at night when you're going to go to sleep, you have to take those processors off. You should not sleep with them on. So that's really important. I know some people say, oh my gosh, Lisa, but if something happens and if some kind of noise, and I say, you don't need to hear them really, because you're sleeping. You're busy sleeping. And that's why I really encourage for you to have, an alarm clock that can do a few other things, that can alert you of a fire alarm, that can alert you of an emergency sound in your building or in your home, so that, that alarm clock is going to take, the stressors off of you, and it's going to let you know if you need to wake up and pay attention to what's going on. Otherwise, you can also consider having a service dog. There are hearing dogs that are trained to alert you if something's going on. If something comes in your room or an alarm goes off, whatever, the dog will alert you. So that's another possibility. Instead of having something electronic to alert you, you have a service dog. So, and that service dog can go with you wherever you go. So, that's another consideration. So you have options. The only thing with the service dog is that you have to wait quite a few months to be able to get one. You have to help with, the cost of the service dog, not pay, full cost, but, to help them raise funds for the service dog. Sometimes a family and friends can pitch in, or neighbors, or, you put out a notice to GoFundMe process and give funds that way for the service dog. So that's another option. I had a service dog for 4 years with me. He was a golden retriever. His name was Johnny. He was a total goofball. But he was very good, very well trained, and he did save me from a fire. This was a fire that started outside of my apartment. There was a disgruntled neighbor, and he was having some kind of dispute with the landowner. and he decided to cause some trouble before he left, and he put all kinds of crazy stuff in the dumpster, in the city dumpster, that was in our courtyard, and he threw a couch in there, and then set it on fire before he left. Now, my service dog was not trained to alert me for fires outside of my apartment or outside of the home. He was trained to alert me of alarms inside, the apartment or the home where I was living. And I sent him to bed. He usually went to bed early. But he kept on coming back to the living room. I was watching the news, and he started running around in circles, and like a crazy Looney Tune. Couldn't figure out what he wanted. I thought, do you need to go potty? Do you need to go out? Do you want a snack? I mean, what? I tried to stop him from running around in circles, but he wouldn't stop. And I said, well, Johnny, you can go to bed. It's okay. Did you want me to go to bed with you? And he just rolled his eyes and went back into the room. Golden retrievers are very expressive. So he just rolled his eyes and went back in the room. And so a few minutes later, he came running back out and started running around in circles again. I thought, what is wrong with my service dog? So I called the trainer because I thought, he might be ill or something. And so she said, be careful. He's probably trying to alert you of something. So I got up and I said, okay, Johnny, I'm going to check the gate and I'm going to close the door. And when I said door, he understood the word door. He perked up and it's like, yeah, go to the door. So I opened the door. I was going to check my gate to make sure it was locked. And then I saw this glow to my left, and I thought, what's going on here? Is somebody barbecuing or something? So I looked outside, and I saw the huge fire, and it was spilling over the dumpster. We were like in October, so it was very dry, and it was so high, it was reaching the electrical wires, and it was just a mess. So I ran back in, and my dog was like, finally, she paid attention. So I called 911, and I told them, the city dumpster in my courtyard was on fire, and the gal on the phone didn't quite understand. She said, your garbage can? And I said, no, the dumpster, the city dumpster in my courtyard. I live in blah, blah, blah address. And she was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So, and she was asking me a whole bunch of questions. I said, sorry, I'm hearing impaired. I won't be able to hear everything you're saying. So this is my address. This is what's happening. And it's reaching the electrical wires. It's spilling over to the grass. And the grass was completely dry. So, the grass was now on fire. So they sent the police. They sent the fire department. They sent the whole city. So I stepped outside and thanked for the fire department for coming, and they were putting on hazmat suits. I was like, what? Why are they doing that? So I said to the chief, Chief, why are they putting on hazmat suits? And he said, don't you hear that? And I said, no. And he said, there's explosions going on in the dumpster. And he said, if you're deaf, how did you hear I said, I didn't hear anything. I said, my service dog here alerted me, and I called 911. So he was like, oh, wow. So, yeah, he said, there's explosions going on in the dumpster. There's all kinds of stuff going on in that dumpster. So that's why they're wearing special masks and everything else, because they don't want to get hurt. And they don't want to breathe in the chemicals that are coming out of that dumpster. So I was like, yikes. So yes, a service dog can be very, very helpful. I mean, he saved my life. He saved the life of the people in the complex that I lived in. So this is, one way to do it. and or you can have electronics that'll alert you, in your home if there's an alarm going on of some kind. So it's your choice. This is just like reaching for a flashlight, you know, to use the tools that you need to help yourself in those times of complete silence. And the silence is okay. I practice myself when I took off my processors to go outside, and then I would come back in. Then the next day I went all the way to my mailbox, which was on the street there. So I walked through the courtyard and got to the mailbox and got my mail and came back in complete silence, so that sensation of being completely deaf, I would get used to it and feel comfortable with it. So I think that anyone who's going to get a cochlear implant or who lost their hearing completely and is restless about it, do some practices using the tools that you would need in complete silence. So I think that's important. Yes, being in complete silence feels eerie, feels uncomfortable, because we're not used to it. We're not used to it, and we feel discombobbled. So do some practices of being completely deaf. Go in the kitchen, make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If your family member comes in, have them just say, I don't have my processors on. Just write it down. And sorry about the camera there. We have rain, we have lightning, we have thunder, we have hail. So the electricity is like So you might see some blinking of the camera there. So do some practices of being in complete silence, and for yourself to know you're okay, you're fine, and you can use some tools to get past those moments in which someone comes to talk to you and you don't have your processors on. So have them write whatever they need to say to you, and do that a few times so that you know that you are okay in complete silence. It's fine. It's okay if the lights go out and you can't see a thing. There's flashlights that can help you. So, those little tidbits I think are important for anyone who goes through sudden hearing loss or is going to get cochlear implants, or, if you're struggling with being in silence, do those practices so that it becomes more a norm for you, and you feel comfortable, especially when you get cochlear implants and you have that experience of, of being in complete silence, that it's okay and it feels normal, and you know what you need to do if somebody comes to talk to you, or if, you can just read while you're in silence. So for me, it's a little hard to be in long-term in silence because I have tinnitus. And the more you are in silence, sometimes that tinnitus can get louder. So it's important to create that balance there and distract yourself somehow from the tinnitus. So these are my suggestions when you are in complete silence. Just know that it's kind of like when the lights go out and you reach for the flashlight, and to know that if you're in complete silence, you have your tools necessary to survive those moments. All right, folks, if you got this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking around and listening to my babbling. I'm hoping it was useful. Feel free to give us a like and to subscribe so you get notifications of, the next video. I'm hoping all of you are well, high and dry. Here we are wet and it's raining more and more. So I'm hoping I don't float away. But we have more storms on the way. So take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next one.